Hello everyone, good morning, how are you all? So yes, we are waiting for you all here. Today we will be discussing the previous year questions of work, power and energy. So yes, these questions were previously asked and today we will be discussing all those questions which were there in CHSL, CPO, then even MTS, CGL. We are going to discuss all the questions which were previously asked. Now, before starting this topic, let me tell you, if I talk about work, power, energy, there are questions which are asked from the kinetic energy part. There are some examples which are given. For example, there's a stone that is being thrown from the top of the roof. Now, what will happen to the? What will be the change in the kinetic energy? What will be the change in the potential energy? Apart from that, if we will talk about an airplane, if airplane is flying at that time, it is possessing which type of energy? Is it potential? Is it kinetic? These questions were previously asked. So without any delay, let's start with these questions. So we have first question here. What is the first question? Which of the following pair of physical quantity has same dimensions? Now this is from CHSL 2015. So what is the correct answer over here? Waiting for the answer from everyone. Yeah. And everyone who has joined the session, kindly like it and share it, so that we can start discussion. And yes, this is not only asked in CHSL. Apart from CHSL, this particular question is asked in many of the examinations, including those examinations when we were in the 12th standard. If you are from the science background, you must have given IIEEE or JEE examination, right? If I talk about the present scenario, JEE mains and advanced part, earlier it was IIEEE and IIT examination. So that was for the 12th standard people. But yes, for you all also, this is the important one. Please remember, when I'm talking about the same dimension, this means what? You remember dimensional formula? I told you, whenever we are talking about the dimensional formula, we go with this part, that is MLT. Remember, where M used to stand for mass, L was for length, and T was for time. Remember? So what we used to do, whatever unit was there, for example, if I talk about speed, we knew what is speed. For speed, we have meter per second. So here, what is this? We can write it as meter second inverse. So meter is for what? Meter is for length. This is for time. So it will be LT minus 1. Remember this part? So in the similar manner, yes, Ganesh has already given the answer. Awesome, Ganesh. If I talk about the quantity which is having same dimension, so it will be work and energy. Now, how we are going to calculate it? What will be its dimension? Let's have a look now. If I talk about work, it will be what? I can write force into displacement, right? So what I am writing? Force into displacement. Now if I talk about force, what is the unit? The unit for force is kg meter per second square. So if I talk about this force, kg meter per second square. So now in this manner, if I'll move forward, if I'll talk about distance, so it will be what? It will be now, distance would be in the meter, right? So it would be kg meter square per second square, right? So for the kg, I'll be having what? Mass, then length, L square, then T minus 2. So this would be the dimension, and this would be the same dimension for the work and energy. Why? Because they are having the same units. Fine. So got my point? So this is important. Do not forget. Okay then, the correct answer is work and energy. Next question is, energy stored in a spring watch. What is it? So in a watch, when we are talking about the spring, so it is having which type of energy? This is from Ssc text assistant. So is it kinetic, potential, heat or chemical? Waiting for the answer, please. Everyone. What is the correct answer over here? Answer, please. Answer, please. No one? So yes, Ganesh is the one who has given the answer, so it would be potential, and that's true. See, whenever we are talking about the potential energy, that means we are talking about the stored energy. But when there is anything which is in the motion, when we are talking about the energy which is actually there with the motion part, there we include the kinetic. For example, if I talk about a bow, and here what we are doing, we are using an arrow. When I am stretching it, at that time, the energy which is present is the potential energy. As soon as I release it, there is the movement in the arrow, right? So when there is the movement, at that time itself, that kinetic energy comes into the role. So yes, when I am talking about the spring which is there in the watch, that would be what? That is actually your potential energy. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Now, yeah. Okay, Ganesh. So next question is, which of the following is the cleanest source of energy? Now, no doubt, it is from the environmental part. but since it is the part of energy, so we are discussing it here. This is from CGL 2016, which is the cleanest source of energy. Very basic question. So I guess you can give this answer. Everyone. And everyone who has joined the session, kindly like it and share it. All these questions were previously asked and are important. No doubt some of the questions might look quite basic, some might be quite difficult, but these are asked. So we must get prepared for all the type of question, whether it is easy or difficult. So if I'll talk about the cleanest source of energy, so we can talk about all these sources, in which if I'll talk about the fossil fuel, it will create what? It will create pollution. If I'll go with nuclear power, same thing. Same for the, but if I'll go with the wind energy, Ganesh, don't be in doubt, you are absolutely correct. If I'll talk about wind energy, it is actually the cleanest source. So that's true. Option number D is the correct answer. Next, which one of the following is not a non-conventional source of energy? Now this is easier, but what happens as soon as we see the question, we take on the first option. So I want this answer, and I also want to think twice over here. Why? Because there's some issue. Let's see what is that particular issue. Now I want correct answer from everyone. Answer please. Yeah. So apart from Ganesh, we have other candidates as well. Everyone is requested to kindly like this session and start talking to me so that I can discuss more about it. So yes, what is the answer over here? I'm talking about the question in which it is asked, which is not a non-conventional source of energy. So what is going to be the correct answer? And I'll give you a hint. When we are talking about renewal, it is non-conventional. When you are talking about non-renewal, it is conventional. So this will make your answer easier. So yes, waiting for the answer please. Waiting for the answer please. No one? So Ganesh is the one who has given the answer, so it would be A, that is solar energy. Now Ganesh, I know what has happened here. Ganesh, what happens when we see this non-conventional, we think it is non-renewable. No, we are talking about a renewable source of energy. What? Renewable source of energy. But now let's get back to the question. Question was asked, which one of the following is not a renewable energy? Now you can get the answer, right? That's why I told, please think twice. Again I am saying, which one of the following is not non-conventional, that is, which is not renewable. See, we know that solar energy is renewable, right? In the similar manner, if I talk about wind energy, it is also renewable. If I talk about tidal power, it is also renewable. So what is left? Natural gas. So here, what is the correct answer? Natural gas would be the correct answer. I guess you got my point. Everyone has received this data, na? Please, in the examination, don't get confused. Everything is easy. Just the thing is that we must keep our mind open. So yes, Ganesh, I guess you have received this point. So here, option number B, that is natural gas, will be the correct answer. Got my point? Please, if you have received this data, give me thumbs up. And everyone who has joined the session, kindly like it and share it. Everyone. Okay, so here, natural gas would be the correct answer. Great. Ganesh, awesome. Next, kinetic energy depends on what? This is from CGL 2016. There are 4 options. Let's see who gives the correct answer. Till then, I'll get water. I'm getting water for myself. I'll be waiting for the answer. Please, give me the answer. Yes, so what I was talking, I'm talking about the kinetic energy, and we have discussed. If I talk about the kinetic energy, that means we are talking about the movement, right? Now, what is the formula to calculate it? If I'll write about kinetic energy, we have this half mv square. So for calculating the kinetic energy, we use this, where m is what? M is representing the mass. If I talk about v, it is representing the velocity. So Ganesh has already given the answer. So both mass and velocity of the moving body. So if I talk about the kinetic energy, that's true. See, velocity and mass, it is dependent on both. And Ganesh has given a half mv. That's totally correct. Awesome, Ganesh. So yes, if I talk about option D, that is both mass and velocity of the moving body, that is going to be the correct answer. Great. Everyone else who is there in the session, kindly like this session and share it. And yes, whatever doubt is there, please let me know and start discussing with me so that I can go in the depth with these questions. Yes, so here option D was absolutely correct. Next question. Which of the following sources has the largest share in power generation in India? So this is from CGL 2016. What is going to be the correct answer? Is it atomic power, thermal power, hydropower or wind power? Who will give this answer? The question is, which of the following sources has the largest share in the power generation? So we are talking about the power generation. That means we are talking about the same energy, same power that we are using for lighting the bulb, for running the ACs, for even charging your laptops and mobile phone on which you are having this lecture. So you are actually using the power, right? So from where this power is generated, there are several sources. It may be atomic power plants, it may be thermal power plants, it may be hydroelectric dams, right? It may be wind power, that is we can talk about windmills. So if I'll talk about this question, then Ganesh has already given the answer and it's awesome, Ganesh. Answer is absolutely correct. The correct answer is going to be your thermal power. So please remember, whenever we are talking about the power generation in India, thermal power is the one which is the greatest source of power generation. Do not forget, this is not only the question which is asked in CGL, in other examinations as well. If you'll go for different examinations, even for the higher level examinations also, this question plays a significant role. Please remember, thermal power is the correct answer. Next, which of the following is not a vector quantity? A simple one. We discussed it in the physical quantities part, right? Yeah, we have more thermal power stations. So this is the question. Which of the following is not a vector quantity? So the time you are giving me answer, till then let me explain this. And everyone who has joined the session, kindly like it and share it. Yes. Now if I talk about vector quantity, vector quantity is the one which is having the, what? It is having the magnitude and direction both. Now for the people who are listening this for the first time, let me tell you what is this. If I talk about a unit, for example, let us assume we all are selected in the examination, fine. We have qualified the examination, we have our offer letters. Now you will say, sir, I am selected at this post and I will be most happiest person at that time. So I will say, okay, I am arranging a party for you all. Please come Noida or Delhi. We will be meeting up and we will be having party. Now what happened? We brought so many products that at the ending also we felt like we want something else. So what I will say, let's do one thing, we will have a biryani now. So can you get rice? So when you will go for buying the rice at the shop, what you will say? I will just say, go, please go, Ganesh, go and have 5 rice. So am I correct over there? Have I given the correct data? No. Just something that is missing is the unit. I must say, please go and bring 5 kg of rice, right? So that 5 is actually what? That is the magnitude. But if I talk about this same scenario and I say that, please Ganesh, go to the shop and bring 5 kg of rice in the east. Is it valid statement? No. That means there is no such direction required. But if I talk about displacement, we need to mention in which direction we are talking about, right? So whenever direction is included, that quantity is vector. If direction is not included, that is scalar. So here the question is asked, which is not a vector. That means it is asking about the scalar quantity in which magnitude is not required. So if I'll go with these options, can you tell me what is the correct answer over here? Ganesh and all the other candidates who have joined the session, can you give me this answer? Which of the following is a scalar quantity? If I talk about force, do we use the direction over here? And yes, remember, this not only direction part, one more thing is there, we need to check the vector's law of addition. We have remember that part, parallelogram's law, that is we are talking about the vector addition. So yes, that is also to be considered apart from this direction part. So yes, Ganesh is saying sir D. No Ganesh, this time you are wrong, so sorry. But it's good that you have given the answer. See, for the velocity part we need direction as well. Similarly for the displacement also. The only option which is left is your option number A, that is work. So please remember, here work is the scalar quantity. Fine. Now, what I told, vector law of addition also. If any of the option is here which is actually having that particular direction but it is not following the vector law of addition, so the option would be changed in that scenario. So no issues. Here work is going to be the correct answer, which is actually scalar. And what was the question? Question was which is not a vector. That is, it is asking which is scalar. So work would be the correct answer. Fine. So if I talk about velocity, we have direction over there, na? Correct. But speed is actually scalar. Speed is scalar and velocity is vector. Ganesh, for you. Fine. Okay. Let's get back to the next question. So here we have the next question. Which of the following is false with reference to photovoltaic cell? This is from Chsl 2016. Just have a look at the options. And everyone who has joined the session, kindly like it and share it. Yes. What is the correct answer over here? Which of the following is false with reference to a photovoltaic cell? Photovoltaic cell. These cells, if I talk about these photovoltaic cells, do you know where we have seen this? If I talk about some of the areas which are actually using these renewable sources, if I talk about solar energy, this photovoltaic cell actually derives its energy from the solar power, that is from the sun. So now let's have an option. First option is it is another name, its another name is solar cell. First option is this. Second is, it can be used as infrared detectors. Third option is, it can store light energy in the form of electrical energy. And its fourth option is, it converts electric energy into the light energy. So what is going to be the correct answer? Just have a look. Yes, please. See, if we will give answer now, it would be easier to understand. Just try to relate it. What I told, I was talking about photovoltaic cell. So from this word photo, please remember we are talking about photons. Fine, that is we are talking about light over there. Now, as I told you, sun, that means first option would be right, that it is another name for solar cell. True. If I'll go with second one, infrared detectors, absolutely correct. So Ganesh, you are with option C. Okay, Ganesh is saying it can store light energy in the form of electrical energy. Okay, so it is storing light energy in the form of electrical energy. Okay, so that's true. If I'll talk about the photovoltaic cell, it is doing what? The sun energy is there, the light which is coming here, it is storing it in the form of electrical energy. And fourth one is, it is converting electric energy into the light energy. See, if I'll go with the three options, that's true. But just have a look at the D option. It converts electric energy into light energy. Do you seriously think this photovoltaic cell or solar cell must be converting the light energy into the, electric energy into the light energy? It is actually opposite. It is doing what? It is taking the light energy and converting it into the electrical energy. And the question was, which is false? Ganesh, getting my point? It is which is false. So it is not converting the electric energy to the light energy. That's why option number D would be the correct answer. Fine. So yes, option number D will be correct because we are asked which is false statement. Next. Kilowatt hour is the unit of watt. Now this is from Cpo 2008. Kilowatt hour is the unit of what? Is it energy, power, electric charge or electric current? What is the correct answer over here? See, actually government is also giving subsidies. Ganesh, government is also giving subsidy for buying this solar products. And yes, in many of the villages you will find this. In many of the villages. So yes, okay Ganesh, fine. So Ganesh is with B over here, and that's true. If I'll talk about the kilowatt hour, so it is what? See, what is power? Just have a look. If I'll talk about power, we have discussed its unit is what? Watt, or I can talk about kilowatt. Fine. But if I'm talking about kilowatt hour, just have a look. Kilowatt hour. Now this is what? If I talk about your homes, Ganesh, we are giving electricity bill, right? In that electricity bill, it is told that you have consumed this much of energy. What I am saying, again listen. You have consumed this much of energy, so you need to give this much amount. This is the thing. So what you are doing, how much power you are using in those particular hour, kilowatt hour. Now this is what? This is actually the energy. Got my point? So it will be what? It will be the energy which you have used actually in that particular month. So yes, here what we will say, the correct answer is going to be option number A, that is energy. Got my point? So whenever we will talk about any of the product which is actually there at a home, so Ganesh, awesome, that's true, that the correct answer would be energy. Next, in a rechargeable cell, what kind of energy is stored within the cell? In the rechargeable cell, what kind of energy is stored within the cell? Now this is the question from Ssc Section Officer 2007, and see, all the questions were previously asked, so it is important. No issues, Ganesh. It's good that you are trying to give the answer in the examination. It will be very, very helpful, because once you are wrong here, in examination you will be 100% correct for sure. Okay, let's move forward with this question. In a rechargeable cell, what kind of energy is stored within the cell? So is it electrical energy, potential energy, chemical energy or kinetic energy? What is the correct answer? Rechargeable cell. So waiting for the answer please. What would be the correct answer here? Yeah, I guess I'm getting your comment quite late, or you're thinking about the answer. See, we're talking about the rechargeable cell. This means once the cell is used, it can be recharged again. It's very common nowadays. So yes, if I talk about the cell, what is happening here? Here, the cell has the energy in the form of chemical energy, which is actually used again, where we can talk about the torches, we can talk about several examples in which torch or all other things, where this chemical energy is actually converted into the electrical energy, right? So here, that's true, absolutely correct, Ganesh. If I'm talking about the rechargeable cell, the energy which is stored in the cell is what? That is actually the chemical energy. So yes, option number C would be correct. So it's a basic question, but we must remember it. Okay, so this was from SSC section officer, that is chemical energy. Now if I talk about this electrical energy, you can just say that whenever we are talking about any dynamo is doing what? Whenever we are trying to use the mechanical energy, that mechanical energy is converted into electrical. So potential and kinetic we are going to discuss with some of the questions which are coming in the next part. Okay, so here option number C was correct. Next, the energy emitted by the sun is due to what? This is again from SSC section officer 2005. So the question is, the energy emitted by the sun is due to what? So is it due to chemical reaction, nuclear fission, nuclear fusion, or all of the above? What is the correct answer over here? And yes, this answer is important because it is asked in the examination, and everyone who has joined the session, kindly like it and please start talking to me so that I can go in the depth with the doubts which you are having. I can explain everything. So just need your comments as well. So we have Prajwal here, and Prajwal has given the answers at D. It would be all of the above. Prajwal, see, when we are talking about the sun now, on the sun what is there? This, actually there are gases, fine. So here, if I talk about nuclear fusion process, that is the part in which what happens? Actually the combination is taking place, where we can talk about the bombardment of neutrons if it is splitting into several parts. If its splitting is going on, that is the opposite process, we call it nuclear fission. When we are talking about the combination, we talk about fusion. So yes, please remember, here the correct answer would be what? No, Ganesh, the correct answer would be C. First you gave the correct answer, then your answer got wrong. So Prajwal, your comment actually disappeared. I think you have deleted it. So yes, we'll talk about the correct answer. The correct answer is going to be a nuclear fusion. Please remember one more thing. It may be asked about this particular sun, or even for the hydrogen bomb. Even from the hydrogen bomb, remember the answer is going to be the same. But if someone is asking you about the atom bomb, see, all these questions are important. It is asked in the examination. If I talk about the atom bomb, the correct answer would be what? The correct answer is going to be nuclear fission. So there's a difference. Fine. Remember, for sun, for hydrogen bomb, we have the same process, that is fusion. If I talk about atom bomb, the correct answer would be fission. Now there's a question again. If I talk about this atom bomb, can you tell me who discovered it? There are two questions that I wanted to ask. First question is, opposite is fission. I'll write for you. See, for the fusion, just take the word fuse. Fuse, what is happening? Combination. It is actually, just have a look, fusing, combining. So it is fusion. If I'll talk about fission, so here it is what? Here actually there is splitting. So in the splitting we call about fission. We will be having detailed discussion tomorrow when we will be having discussion on the nuclear physics part. So tomorrow we will be having detailed discussion on this. But yes, if I talk about the atom bomb discovery, it was what? He was Oppenheimer. His name is Oppenheimer. Now I have a trick for this. If you are from a Hindi medium, you can understand. If there's an atom bomb, if it explodes, what is going to happen? If it explodes, then here many people will die. That is, in Hindi we can say that बहुत सारे लोग मर जाएंगे, right? So high amount of people will be dying. High level of the deaths would be there. So high mar. This is the trick which you can use. Now one more question is there. If I talk about these bombs, can you tell me the bombs which are there in the Hiroshima and Nagasaki? This is actually asked. There were two bombs that were dropped. Remember? Hiroshima and Nagasaki during the World War. So can you name those two particular bombs? Bombs dropped at Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Now this is again important because it was asked in the examination many times. Can you name those bombs? And tomorrow we will be having those previous year questions from nuclear physics also. So yes, anyone? Prajwal, remember? Yeah, that's true. So tomorrow we are going to have a discussion on that also. So can you give me this answer? If I'll talk about Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombs, please remember that was Fat Man and Little Boy. So this is actually asked in the examination. Please remember all these things. Arey wow, that's great. You remember the date as well. Awesome, Ganesh. So yes, please remember these are the important points. If I talk about bombs, for the bombs, there were two names, Fat Man and Little Boy. And the question was, who is the one who has discovered atom bomb? He was Oppenheimer. Then if I'll talk about fusion and fission process, so this is the one. In Hindi we say it Nabikya sunline and Nabikya Vikandan. So yes, if I'll talk about fusion part, you can talk about sun or hydrogen bomb. If I'll talk about fission, you can take the example of atom bomb. All these things are very important, do not forget. So yes, okay, next. A stone is dropped from the roof of house towards the ground. The kinetic energy of the stone will be maximum where? This is from Chsl 2011 and I need answer from everyone. There's nothing related to that, Prajwal. The thing is that whenever we are in some sort of operation now, we give names for that. For example, there were certain operations for India. There was a important operation. If I talk about Operation Shakti, fine. So here we can discuss about whenever the first time, that time APJ Abdul Kalam was there. So during the time of Mr. APJ Abdul Kalam, what happened? There was the testing which was done at Pokhran. Remember? That was the testing because of which we were in the nuclear part. So yes, we give those names for those operations, for those bombs, for the clarity. That's it. In a similar manner, if I talk about Operation Blue Star, so it was for what? Operation Blue Star was in the case of death of Indira Gandhi. So yes, these operations, these names are actually asked in the examination, so that's important. Okay, let's get back to our point. So a stone is dropped from the roof of a house towards the ground. The kinetic energy of the stone will be maximum at what? So that just as after it is dropped, or when it is just on the halfway, just before it touches the ground, or when it touches the ground. What is going to be the correct answer? And yes, please give this answer because I can easily explain this part. Two of the things are there. In the same question, there may be question from the kinetic energy or from the potential energy. Now I have to explain this part. So for that, I need answer from you all. Answer please, everyone. Answer please, answer. Prajwal, Ganesh, and everyone who has joined this session, kindly like it and share it. No one? Okay, let me explain. See, when I am talking about the potential energy, for the potential energy we have a formula mgh. What is this? If I talk about m, it is mass. If I talk about g, what is it? It is gravity. If I talk about h, it is what? It is representing height. This means if I talk about potential energy, it is actually dependent on the height. So let me draw a diagram for you. This was the house, and here we are standing, and here's a stone in his hand. Now you must be thinking the stone is actually greater than the boy, but so Jivita has given the answer, so C would be the correct answer. Okay, Jivita, but Prajwal and Ganesh, answer is still pending from your end. Again I am explaining. So there's a building, fine, and on the, let us consider the height of this building is h. Now there must be some mass over here, and we have the gravity for the earth, fine. So here, what is the potential energy at this point? At this point, we have the potential energy as mgh. Why? Because we have mass that is constant, we have gravity that is having the fixed value. If I talk about h, it totally depends at what height you are from the ground. So yes, we have mgh here, but if someone asks me about the kinetic energy, at this level the kinetic energy will be 0 because there is no such movement. Now what is going to happen? As soon as he drops the stone, or as soon as he drops that object, what is going to happen? This kinetic energy's level will keep on increasing and potential energy's level will keep on decreasing. Why? Because height is actually decreasing. So when we are talking about this component h, m into g into h, if h value will decrease, potential energy will decrease. So whenever it will go downwards, potential energy will keep on decreasing. And if I talk about kinetic energy, so kinetic energy will keep on increasing. Now what will happen? As soon as, okay, no issues Ganesh. As soon as this stone touches the ground, what do you think? What is going to happen? In this manner, in this condition, this particular energy, whatever is there, it is always conserved. That is, total energy is always same. That is half mv square plus mgh. This will always remain constant. It will always remain constant. Its value. See, here kinetic energy was 0, it was maximum, and then it kept on increasing, it kept on decreasing, that is the total value will remain constant. So kinetic energy will be there only when movement will be there, correct? When movement will be there. As soon as it touches the ground, what is going to happen with the kinetic energy? Kinetic energy will become 0. But before touching the ground, it will be at its peak level, that is the maximum level. So that's why Jivita, you are absolutely correct. Awesome. The correct answer would be what? just before it touches the ground. So I guess you all got that point. So please remember this part, okay? Let's move forward with the next question. So before moving forward with the next question, we have a example official application which is one-stop solution for the government job aspirants. We have live paid courses with the test series, free subject-wise and topic-wise quizzes with the report card. Then we have job alerts, admit card, examination date, all examination previous year PDFs with the solution, free all India scholarship test with the report card, topic-wise free live classes, free full-length sectional test with the report card, free examination-wise PDFs, practice at PDF, daily, weekly, monthly current affairs, unlimited subject-wise practice at questions, all at a single platform. Just go to the Play Store, type example over there, click on the install button, click on the open part, just do your registration and start using it. Okay, so we have next question here. A dynamo is used to convert what? Now this is from GD. This question was asked in GD. If I'll talk about dynamo, what it is doing here, we can talk about the energy in which we are actually using the mechanical energy, and that mechanical energy is actually converted into what? Electrical energy, right? So okay, I have already explained this part. So let's see who gives this answer. Everyone knows about it, I have just explained it. So need answer from Prajwal, Jeevita, Ganesh, everyone, and who has joined the session, kindly like it and share it so that we can have lots of discussion. And yes, Ganesh is the first one to answer this, that is the mechanical energy is converted into the electrical energy. So that's true. Jeevita is also with A. Awesome. That's totally correct. Option number A is the correct answer. Next. When a body falls from an aeroplane, there is the increase in its what? So this is from metric level 2013. When a body falls from an aeroplane, there is the increase in its dash. So what is it? Mechanical to electrical. Yeah, Prajwal, absolutely correct. But what about this answer? When a body is falling from an aeroplane, what is going to increase? Mass, acceleration, potential energy, kinetic energy, what? We have just explained the part with the building, right? So we'll talk about a building. We understood that concept where there was a boy who was holding a stone and that stone was dropped. Same logic is applicable here. So Ganesh is with A, Jeevita is with A, and Prajwal, your answer please, so that I can start explaining this part. Whenever we are talking about an aeroplane, there might be some height, right? Let us assume h. So at this location, if I'll talk about the topmost point, when the body was there, so the potential energy will be maximum. And what will be its value? Its value will be mgh. And if I'll talk about kinetic energy, it will be 0, because if I'll talk about half mv square, so here velocity is actually 0. But as soon as it is dropped, what is going to happen? Here the kinetic energy will keep on increasing and potential energy will keep on decreasing, because energy always remains constant. Energy is conserved actually. So yes, if I'll talk about mass never changes, right? So here if I'll talk about potential energy, obviously potential energy will keep on decreasing, but kinetic energy will keep on increasing. So Prajwal, Jeevita, Ganesh, you all are correct, that is kinetic energy will increase. Next, chemical energy is converted into electrical energy. Now which is the correct option for that? Is it dynamo, electric fan, battery or atom bomb? Chemical energy into kinetic energy. Chemical to kinetic. We were discussing about photovoltaic cells. Remember solar cells? What was happening there? Solar cells were actually using sunlight, that energy which was coming from the sun, and that was converted into what? It was converted into the electric energy, because of which you were able to run your fans, televisions and all. So yes, is the same logic applicable here? Absolutely. Yeah. Yes, Ganesh, nuclear force is the strongest force in the nature, but the only thing is that it is short ranged. If someone will ask you about the weakest force, that is going to be a gravitational force. Out of the fundamental forces, Ganesh, which are there present in the nature, nuclear force is the strongest one and gravitational force is the weakest one. But nuclear force is only short ranged. Got your answer? Okay. So Prajwal is with battery, Jeevita is with C, and then Prajwal is also with C. Ganesh is also with C. That's absolutely correct. If I talk about battery, what is happening here? Here chemical energy is converting into the electric energy. If I talk about electric fan, can you tell me about its answer? This is again a basic question but need answer. Because dynamo we have already understood. What? It was converting mechanical energy into the electrical. What if we are talking about electric fan? Which energy is converted into which form? Can you tell me this answer? In the form of electric fan, which particular energy will be converted into which energy? Please answer in the super fast manner so that we can proceed forward. And in the ending we have to discuss those electric circuits. We actually lacked that part yesterday, right? So we are going to discuss those electric circuits, the overall resistance. So need the discussion with this question so that I can proceed with those part as well. So waiting for the answer. See, if I'll talk about electric fan, please remember what is going to happen. Heat energy, no Ganesh, no, that would be wrong actually. Jeevita and Prajwal, can you give me the answer? One of the part is correct, Ganesh, because finally electric to mechanical, electric to kinetic. See, Prajwal, here Jeevita is correct. Awesome, Jeevita, totally correct. So Prajwal and Ganesh, try to understand, if I am talking about electric fan, what is happening? In the electric fan, we are getting the electric energy because of which it is rotating. And for the rotation part, we can say that what? That is actually a mechanical energy, right? So that's why we can say that electric energy which was used by the fan is converted into the mechanical energy because that fan is actually rotating and giving you air, right? So here the correct answer would be what? Electric to mechanical. Okay, so I'll write electrical to mechanical. These questions are asked, so please remember this part. Okay, so battery was the correct answer. Next, in a water lifting electric pump, we convert what? This is from MTS 2013. In water pump, we can talk about submersible pumps or even the Tillu pumps. So I need the answer. In the water lifting electric pump, we are converting what? Which energy to which energy? In the water lifting pumps, waiting for the answer please. In the water lifting pump, we are converting what? So Prajwal has given the answer electric, okay, that was for the previous one. Prajwal, answer please. Just think about it, and you are the person who has actually given the answer in the first go with the previous question. Yes, answer please. I am talking about the electric water lifting electric pumps. So if I'll talk about these pumps, if I'll talk about the submersible pumps, they are doing what? They are actually bringing the water from the ground level to your tanks, right? So in that condition, what is happening? Prajwal is with electric to potential. Okay. Jeevita is with D, that is, sir, electrical to kinetic. Then here, if I am talking about the electric pumps, what they are doing? The ground level water is actually pumped up and it is filled into the tanks, right? So here, if I talk about the electric energy, that is absolutely correct. That first of all, electric energy is required to run it. Totally correct. Now the second point is, when water is taken upwards, this means there must be some velocity, right? So if I talk about the movement, there's a movement, that is, we can talk about the half mv square, there's a movement, there's a velocity. If I talk about the movement, that means we are talking about the kinetic energy. So please remember, here what we can say that electric energy is actually converted into the kinetic energy. So yes, here the correct answer is option D. Next, energy in foods can be measured with which unit? Now we have discussed about energy, but this time the question has actually changed and the question is energy in the foods can be measured with which unit? This is from Cpo 2017. Let's see who gives this answer. Energy in food. Energy in food. Answer please. Answer please. Yeah, so we have answer C there, that is calorie. Please remember, whenever we are talking about the foods, fine, or we are talking about any type of energy, you can directly say that would be your calorie. It's obvious that if I am talking about Kelvin and Celsius, it is for the temperature, right? So yes, answer would be C, that is calorie over here. Next, a flying jet possesses what? Now this is from Cpo 2017. A flying jet is possessing what? Which type of energy? Answer please. Flying jet is possessing which type of energy? Answer please. Yeah, answer. Flying jet. So if I am talking about an aeroplane, so it is, let us assume it is moving in this direction. So it will possess what? Which type of energy would be there? Please, waiting for the answer so that we can discuss more questions. Jeevita is with answer D. That is, sir, it will be having both kinetic and potential. Why? Because there is a reason. Since it is moving with some sort of velocity, right? It is moving with some velocity. So this means it must be having some value, that is half mv square. That means there is a kinetic energy, that's for sure. But if I talk about this part, there's a height. right? Since there's the height, this means we can say that m into g into h. So it is going to possess potential energy as well. So it is having the potential energy and kinetic energy both. Fine. So yes, it will be both kinetic and potential. Yeah, Prajwal, Jeevita and Ganesh, you all are correct. Here it would be both kinetic and potential energy. But there was a question which was previously asked. So I'll try to explain this part. I actually will go with C option over here. I'll not go with this, just a second, electrical to potential. I'll actually go with option number A, not this one. I have to again explain this part. Sorry for the explanation at that time. Jivita, your answer was D over there, and Prajwal and Ganesh, you are changing the question. We'll again go with this question. If I'll go with this water lift, what was happening? There was a water that was there at the ground level. But when we were taking it to this tank, that is, we were talking about the water lifting electric pump, right? So here, we were having electric energy that was actually running the pump, right? So when it was running, it was using electric energy, but there was increase in the height of the water now. So I'll go with the option electric energy was converted into the potential energy. Fine. So I'll go with option A. Please remember here option D is not going to be the correct answer. Option number A would be correct. Got my point? Please, everyone. Jeevita, Prajwal, Ganesh. Please remember, don't go with this red color part. We'll go with electric energy into potential energy because there was an increase in the height. And when there is the increase in the height, so it will be mass into gravity into height. So here there was a change in the height. That's why we'll talk about potential energy over there. So Jeevita and Ganesh, yeah Prajwal, that's true. So that's why it would be A. Got my point, everyone? Please, need confirmation, thumbs up please, so that I can move forward now. So Jeevita, okay, Ganesh, okay, done. Jeevita, waiting for your confirmation as well. The next question is, when the speed of a moving object is halved, it's dash. Okay, cool. So yes, waiting for this answer. When the speed of a moving object is halved, what would be the change in the kinetic energy? What will be the change in the kinetic energy? Answer please. Okay, cool. Yeah, answer please. When the speed of the moving object is halved, a basic question but need answer from everyone. We know that whenever we'll talk about the kinetic energy, we can talk about half mv square, right? Now what is going to happen? So Prajwal is with B, so that is kinetic energy will become 4 times of the original. Yeah, Jeevita is with A, that is sir kinetic energy becomes 1/4 of the original. Others, Ganesh is also with A, that is 1/4. Let's see, 1/4 is the correct answer or 4 times, because we are having 2 options. Let's try to calculate it. What we are told, kinetic energy is what? It is half mv square. But what we are told, we have actually done what? Its speed, we have done half, that is, we can talk about half mv, v's value will be 2, its square. Now just have a look. If I'll calculate it, it would be half mv square into 1/4, right? Because 2 square will be what? 4, so 1/4. Now if I'll write like this, I can write it in this manner, na? 1/4 into half mv square. So this is the new kinetic energy, Ke2. So if I talk about this particular formula, this has become what? This is 1/4 of the original. So yes, if I'll talk about option number A, this is going to be the correct answer. So who was the one? Prajwal. Got my point? Please do not go wrong with this question, because this question is asked many times. They are just doing what? Velocity is doubled, it is halved, it has become 4 times. So in this manner, you have to just calculate and get the answer. Got my point? So this is actually the formula, and just put the value for the velocity and get your answer. So yes, Jeevita, Ganesh, awesome, and Prajwal, great that you have given the answer, and this time you will be correct. Fine. So yes, and I assure you, once you are wrong, you will be always be correct in the main examination. Okay. Next question, please. When a ball is thrown vertically upwards, which of the following quantities remain constant during its motion? This is from CGL 2017. What is going to be the correct answer? Answer please, everyone. Answer please. Everyone. When a ball is thrown vertically upwards, this was the ball, this was thrown vertically upwards. Which of the following quantities remain constant during its motion? Is it displacement, velocity, acceleration, what? When a ball is thrown upwards. Answer please. Answer. So Jivita is going with B. Ganesh is with D. Displacement. Not sure. Jivita, before that, if you are giving the answer displacement, just try to understand what is displacement. Then we'll explain. Others, one more answer is left now. Ganesh. Ganesh, what's your answer? You are also with D? I guess you all are going with D, huh? See, first of all, let me tell you, if I'm talking about the energy, energy's conservation everyone knows. Energy can neither be created nor destroyed, but it can be changed from one form to another. Fine. But now the question is, if I'll talk about displacement, Jivita did give the answer na, of displacement. If I'll talk about displacement, displacement is what? It is actually the shortest distance. It is the shortest distance between any two particular points. So let's take an example. There's a point A and this is the point B. Now here's a person who has actually covered this part. This is the path which he has covered for going to B point. Now let us assume if I try to calculate this distance, there might be this particular part is need to be calculated. I'll use blue color to explain this. Let us assume till this part this was 2 kilometers. For this part it is actually 5 kilometers. From this point to this point it is actually 3 kilometers again, and from here to here we have 4 kilometers. For example. So if someone will ask me about the distance, what I'll do, I'll just try to add them up. That is 2 plus 5 plus 3 plus 4. This will give me what distance? That is 2 plus 5 would be 7 plus 3 and this would be 14. So 14 kilometer distance is actually covered. I am talking about distance over here. But if I talk about displacement, what is that? Displacement is actually the shortest distance. Just from this point to this point, let us assume it is actually of 7 kilometer, for example. So displacement can actually be less than the distance or it may be equal, but it cannot be greater than a distance part. Please remember this point. Jivita, are you getting my point? Everyone. If you are all getting this point, I can just take an example because this is also asked in the examination. If you all are here at Delhi, you are going to Chandigarh, which is approx, let us assume 200 km for example, and from Chandigarh you are going to Shimla. And let's assume it is of 100 km. Now my question is, you all started from Delhi, you went to Shimla and came back to Delhi. So what was the total distance that you have covered? Can you tell me this answer? Now I want this answer from everyone. Sorry. Yeah. My question was, when you're talking about a distance, right now how much distance is covered? This is a basic question, but it need to be asked. Waiting for the answer, please. Answer please. Waiting. This is just a basic question. You're starting from Delhi, going to Shimla and coming back to Delhi. What is the distance that is covered? Because the displacement logic, once it is clear, it will always give you the correct answer. Answer please. No one? See, when we are talking about the distance, I'll do what? I'll just calculate it. 200 plus 200 plus 300, it would be 300. And again, I'll be coming back. So 300 plus 300, it will be total 600 kilometer distance. But if someone asks me about the displacement, what is the correct answer? For the displacement, I know that what is going to happen. Okay, so I am getting your comments quite late. Okay, cool. So we are just adding up because up and down is there. If I talk about displacement, what is going to happen? Can you give me the answer for the displacement, please? Everyone is requested to answer me for the displacement. Now, what is the displacement when I am starting from this point and ending at this point? Yes, this is the last point. Jivita is saying it's 300 kilometer. Others, can you answer me this point? I am saying I have started from this point and ended at this point. So Ganesh and Prajwal, can you answer me this part? Ganesh is also with 300. Okay. And please remember my definition. My definition is displacement is the shortest distance from between 2 points. That is from the starting point and the final point. Okay, Jeevita, got your answer. 300, Ganesh 300. Who is left? Prajwal is left. Prajwal, your answer please. Are you also with 300? So I'll do one thing. Tomorrow, I'll come up with the same question. Fine. I'll come up with the same question and then we'll go with the nuclear physics part. Because I think I need to explain this part. Please remember, if I talk about the initial and final point, see the initial and final point is same na. That's why your displacement will actually be 0. It will be 0. So I'll do one thing. I'll explain this part tomorrow and I'll continue with the same question with the explanation and then we'll move forward with the nuclear physics. So tomorrow please join sharp at 12 so that we can start explanation of this part, that is this displacement, distance, velocity, speed part, and then we'll go to the nuclear physics questions, previous year questions. Fine. And in the evening we'll be having theoretical section at 6 to 7. Okay then, bye bye everyone. Please take care. And yes, Ganesh, Jeevita and Prajwal, I'll be waiting for you all tomorrow so that we can start with this concept. We'll discuss this question and then we'll continue. Fine. Okay then, bye bye everyone. Please take care.